guys, how we doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I did a 120-hour fast, 5 days, by far the longest fast that I've done, and I just wanted to reflect back on it and see how I felt now after sort of having a few days back on solid food and back in action basically, and just take you through the process that I went through and the kind of the roller coaster of emotion. You can read more about it, a bit more of a concise blog that I've written. The link should be down below. Why did I do it? Notionally, I wanted to get the health benefits. So as a health coach, there is so many aspects of health people talk about and focus on, and different aspects of it, and nutrition is obviously vital to health, but there's so many different aspects to that as well, and I've experimented with different diets, and I'm constantly using myself as a test bed, but what's always been interesting to me is the fasting protocols and just refraining from eating anything and just seeing how your body develops, because I think we're taught so much and we're kind of assaulted with brands and food and eat this and drink this and buy this, so I'm always intrigued by things that go counter to a lot of the information that we're constantly receiving, most of it subliminally, subconsciously, albeit in adverts and bits and pieces. So that stuff does really interest me, and moving back to a ancestral nutrition pathway, ancestral nutrition plan, and just doing things that we did 100, 200, 300, 1,000 years ago as much more primal beings is really interesting to me, and that's kind of what I believe makes the cornerstone of good health. So previous to this, I'd done 48 hours, a full 48-hour fast, and that was at the time I was busy and I was on a course, I believe, and that wasn't too bad. It kind of developed quite quickly. So this one was much longer, much tougher. I was in a Facebook group, so there was a little bit of support there, but you're kind of isolated, and it's counter to what most people are doing. Most people are getting up, they're having breakfast, most people are having a little snack, mid-morning snack, most people are having lunch, most people are drinking lots of teas and coffees, calories through liquids, and they're having an evening meal, might have some treats, maybe go out and have some alcohol, and you're deciding for 5 days, 120 hours, just to say no to that whole part of culture, and that's tough, but also intriguing, and going counter to the common paradigms is kind of funky and quite cool. I believe intrinsically gives you a bit of resolve, and I think that's another reason why I really wanted to give it a go and see if I had what it took to actually see it all the way through. So how did I do? Piece by piece. Day one, first 24-hour fast, not really a big deal for me. I'm used to having weekly breaks, so having prolonged fasting periods in my week is quite normal. I'm a big believer in that. So having a 16, 18, 20-hour fast most weeks, 1 or 2 days, is fairly normal for me. So the first day, it kind of flew by, and it's kind of a very small road bump. Just didn't have that evening meal that I'm usually looking forward to if I've had a prolonged fast. And went to bed. Sleeping is always handy on a fast. Day two, things start to get really ugly on day two. I think most people would agree with me and say that it's the hump, it's the big hump you need to get through, because your body is switching fuel systems effectively. So normally most of us are, we eat carbohydrates, which means we are functioning primarily through our glycogen stores. So we're sugar based, is what we're saying. We're sugar fueled, and after about 36 hours of not eating anything, your body starts to think, oh shit, okay, I'm not going to get any food immediately, so I need to start switching to the reserves, and the reserves are fat, so it's a complete transition away from your sugar stores to your fat reserves, and lots of physiological things happen, but what's interesting is how those physiological things manifest and how they make you feel and the psychological impact of it, and that's what's ugly about it. So you start to get a kind of a headache, you start to feel quite fatigued, that's pretty normal, and you're kind of, I wouldn't say like starving hungry, but you just feel unwell. You feel your body is effectively firing signals to your brain to say, what are you doing? Things aren't really working for you, and that's tough. That's really tough to deal with. So that transitional period on day 2, going from like your 36, 48 hour period, is probably the steepest climb, I would say, and that's sort of the biggest bump to get through, the biggest struggle. So that's ugly. Day 2's ugly. There's no two ways about it. You really feel like shit. That's tough. Day 3, you're kind of switching over onto just pure fat burning, and all the good stuff is happening. The good reasons we fast. There's 3 key reasons for me. Physiological reasons. The physiological reasons are firstly autophagy, so that we don't normally use, which is actually able to detoxify through the garbage system. So it's able to reconstruct the crap in our system and get rid of it and compose really good healthy cells. And that process is really beneficial long term. So that's a good reason to do it. And second, day 3, the ketosis is taking place, so you're pure fat burning, and that's really going to help. And then you start to feel a little bit better. You're energized. Your brain is in the zone, so it's starting to think, okay, we're not burning sugars. We're going to start burning fats. That fat burning process has started, and now I'm able to function again. So I'm able to not think about food. And feel energized and pumped and just be completely switched on that system and become more efficient at burning fat and fat adapted. So we're well into that, and that you start to feel good around day 3. You start to get a sort of renewed energy. Everything feels pumped, and you're moving forward in a really positive light. So day 3 is probably like the good bit, really. Day 4, I started off feeling really good. Then start to feel a bit tired, bit angry that I haven't had any food. And the problem is day 3, the sleep, but your body is releasing lots of adrenaline, cortisol. I'm going to put it down to the hunter-gatherer in you is now starting to look up and take note and say, okay, we now need to get some food. We now need to start eating. So we need to go out and hunt. So your insulin sensitivity is vastly improved because you're abstaining from any sugars, any carbohydrates, anything like that. So that aspect of your cellular makeup is vastly improved as well, which again has huge benefits to your long-term health, and that's what I'm interested in. So I'm going to really smash through this. And the first half was actually really good, and I felt like I was on the final straights and really pushing home. And then I sort of hit a wall about halfway through, so about midday on day 5. I really hit a wall. My energy level just crashed through the floor, and the last 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours, were just rough. I just didn't feel like I had any energy at all, and I also didn't feel like eating. I just felt just unwell. And then, knowing that I only had a couple of hours to go, start to get a little bit hungry, start to see the end in light, and my spirits picked up a little bit. And then I crossed the line. Wasn't sure if I was going to make it, but I did. did the 420 hours and broke my fast with a protein shake, trying to take liquids on board. But then I was at work and someone offered me a Dunkin' Donut, and I had a big cream-filled donut to break my fast. I don't think most protocols would advise that, but when presented after 5 days of not eating, what are you going to do? You're going to smash it down. So I had a massive cream donut to break my fast at 6 o'clock on Friday night. And then came home and started the refeeding process, which was interesting because you're not hungry and it takes a while for you to get the hunger back. So that was kind of my fast, and being a couple of days out of it now, I would say I'm feeling really good from having done it. I actually feel really, really energized. I do actually feel cleansed. Haven't had any blood work done or anything like that, but I do feel cleansed, and I feel like I'm ready to kind of get back to more of a normality and kind of a renewed energy and give me a little bit more focus. And that's kind of how the physical aspects have gone.
5-day fast, there you have it, guys. Those are my comments, those are my thoughts. Hopefully you got some value out of that, and you'll continue to engage with me. There is a second video about the psychological aspects and how I found the aspect of it, which is probably more pertinent to my sort of personal development. Be sure to check that one out, subscribe to the channel and engage. I will speak to you soon. Take care.